Hello, this is Miss Terena, and today I'm going to read one of my favorite stories, Where the Wild Things Are, written by Maurice Sendak. On the cover, there's a monster sleeping in a forest, and there's a red boat with a yellow sail floating up. Where the wild things are? I wonder where that is. Let's find out. Where the Wild Things Are. Story and pictures by Maurice Sendak. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind. There he is. He's wearing a white wolf suit. And he's hammering nails into the wall. Bang, 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 bang. That's not good. And mischief of another. There he is in his white wolf suit chasing a dog. He's chasing it, laughing, and the dog looks afraid, running out the door. His mother called him a wild thing. And Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. There he is, sent to his room, still wearing his white wolf suit. He's looking very grumpy. He's in his bedroom. There's his bed. The door is shut. He's glaring at his mother. Well, he was being pretty rotten. That very night, in Max's room, a forest grew. Here's Max in his white wolf suit, and in his bedroom, all around, a forest grew. There's trees growing out of his bed. You can see the moon shining through the window, and his ceiling has leaves all across from the trees growing. And grew. There's Max. He's giggling. Look at this magic. There's trees growing everywhere. You can hardly see his bed anymore. The moon is shining brighter. The walls are disappearing. The ceiling is now all a bunch of trees and leaves. And grew until his ceiling hung with vines, and the walls became the world all around. Now here's Max. He's jumping up and down. Wow, magic! His room has disappeared, and he's now standing in a thick, beautiful forest at night, and the moonlight is shining down. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day. There he is. There's Max in his white wolf suit on a red boat and a yellow sail, and he's on the big stormy blue ocean, bobbing up and down in the water, sailing through day and through night, and far across, and in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. Here he is. He sailed and sailed and sailed and landed on an island. But he looks behind him. There's a sea monster coming out of the water. Roar! And Max says, "Ooh, a monster!" And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. There's Max sitting in his boat, looking at the monsters, big monsters with horns, big teeth, making lots of noise. Roar! Roar! We're monsters! Roar! Roar! But Max said, "Be still!" and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. He was looking into their eyes. Ooh, and they were frightened, the monsters, and called him the most wild thing of all. Wow, here's Max in his white wolf costume. And he is pointing at the monsters and saying, "Be still!" And all the monsters are quiet. They sit on the ground. They're amazed. Wow. Their eyes are big and they have their hands up on their face. Amazing. They've never seen any creature like Max, the most wild thing of all. They made him king of all wild things. There he is, Max, in his wolf suit, wearing a golden crown. He has a scepter that's like a wand that's king's hold. He shows how important he is. And he's sitting on a rock. And all the monsters are bowing down. That means they're bending at the waist, lowering their head, saying, "You are our king, the king of all the wild things." And Max says, "Let the wild rumpus start." Ta-da! A wild rumpus? Why, that's a party. Woo! And so Max, in his crown, started to howl at the moon and dance wildly. And all the monsters howled at the moon and danced wildly. Woohoo! There's the moon up in the sky. All the monsters. Ow! And there's Max. Ow! Woohoo! And then they swang from the trees. They're holding branches of trees. There's Max. He's got his hands on a tree branch, swinging back and forth and back and forth. Whee! Whee! And the monsters. Whee! This is fun. Whee! They're doing everything that Max tells them to do. Max has a big smile on his face. He is having fun. And then they had a big parade. Da, 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 da. There's the monsters in a line, and one of them is carrying Max in his white wolf suit. He is riding the back of one of the monsters like the king of the parade. Da, 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 da. Woo! Yay, Max! Now stop, Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. All right, there they go. They're off to bed. Their eyes are closed. They're very, very, very tired. Except for Max. He still has the crown on his head, but he's sitting there in his white wolf suit. And he's starting to look a little sad. Oh, he has a frown on his face. He's not asleep. He's thinking. Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around and far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. And that made him think of home. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. I'm going home. He got in his boat. His red boat with the yellow sail. There's Max in his white wolf suit, waving bye, goodbye. He's going home. Oh, no, but the wild things cries, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up, we love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars, gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his boat and waved, "Bye!" There he goes in his boat. Bye! He's not worried about the wild things. You can complain and gnash your teeth and yell all you want. I'm going home. So many monsters. They really, really want him to stay. Max and his boat sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day. There he is. In his boat, still has his white wolf suit, in his red boat with the yellow sail, and there's the moon in the sky, and he's sailing back across the sea. His eyes are closed. He fell asleep. It's been a long day, and he has a long way to travel. Long way home. And into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. There's Max. He's back home. His room is back to the way it should be. No more magic in his bedroom. The forest is gone. He's standing in his white wolf suit, but he took off the hat. And he's looking at the table under the window where you can see the moonlight shining through. And his mother brought him dinner. And that's what he smelled. And it was still hot. The end. Where the wild things are. This is such a fun story, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.